Why is a marketing mind better than a sales script? So you have to start thinking more like a marketer, which is a long-term relationship building game, versus a salesman or saleswoman or a salesperson. Sales is really about, cold calling, prospecting, all of that kind of stuff. Right before I started this podcast, I got a call, and it was from somebody that said, "Hey, I want to learn more about your marketing techniques." Okay. So I ended up returning the phone call because I didn't recognize the number. And it was like, "Hey, we sell this stuff and you can white label our services." He wasn't caring about anything I had to do. He just wanted to pitch me. So I turned it around. I said, "Hey, follow me on LinkedIn." And I sent him a whole bunch of other stuff on LinkedIn that would educate him and market to him, so maybe he might use my services. And that's the difference. He was there to sell me. I was there to educate him. So when you think more like a marketing person, the first thing you have to say is, what value do you add to them? That's the key. If they find value in what you do, then they will continue to consume what it is that you present. How do you do that? Well, in Ryan Levesque's other book called Ask, that's what you do. You ask. You poll people. They vote with their eyes. They vote with their likes, their comments, their shares. They tell you what they're interested in. And it can't hurt to do a survey or a poll and say, what keeps you up at night? So how do you provide value? That's what the marketing person has to understand, and then you need to provide that value. How do you do that? Give away your best stuff. A lot of people think it's counterintuitive to give away the baby with the bathwater, but you're not doing that. Why? Because people will consume what you give them, but very few of those people will act upon it and actually do something, and most of them will need your help. The next thing you have to do is make sure you're targeting your messages to the right audiences. I've talked about this in some past podcasts, but the bottom line is, you may have to create multiple pieces of information to talk to multiple different audiences. So do it. The other thing that you want to do is you want to think in sequences. In other words, there's something called cornerstone content. It's the big broad brush. And then you can create other pieces of content that get down into the weeds. Sequence out each one of those steps. Define the steps in the cornerstone content and then break it down into smaller chunks. That way people will follow along with the sequence. And the last piece of this is to focus on the end goal. In sales, it's to make a sale, right? But in marketing, it's to get their permission to continue the conversations. How do you do that? Get them on your email list. Get them to a webinar. They may refer you to somebody, or they may follow you on social media. The bottom line with all of that is marketing will help you generate conversations on a mutually beneficial level. So let me leave you with some final thoughts. Sales is about identifying prospects and getting them to listen to your pitch. Now, that can be successful, but it takes a lot of people and a lot of pitches to work. Where marketing is about educating your market so they get to know, like, and trust you enough to contact you when they need what you're selling, or maybe want to refer you to other potential prospects. One is faster but less effective, and one takes longer but builds better lasting relationships.